I think gatekeeping is bad. Apparently, that's a hot take. So the other day I made a TikTok asking people to comment their favorite small artists and things because I'm nosy and I want new artists to listen to, and I've already listened to every single big artist that there is. So I want smaller ones. Apparently people had an issue with that. There were a bunch of people in the comments who were like, find them yourself. Wouldn't you like to know, Weatherman? Which is like, of course I'd like to know. That's why I'm making the damn TikTok. But a lot of people seem to have an issue with it, and I don't know why. I don't understand why people like to gatekeep their super small artists, because it's like, don't you want your favorite people to be successful? Don't you want them to be rich? Don't you want them to go on tour? They can only do that if they have listeners and followers. I don't know. I have my own takes on gatekeeping, which we're about to get to in a minute, because I am kind of wishy-washy on my takes. But before we get into that, hi, welcome to my channel. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here. This is where I talk about music and music-related things. I like to talk about albums, artists, events, and observations that I see happening in the music world around me. So if that is something that you seem to be into, you are welcome to like and subscribe and stick around and do all that fun stuff. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's get into these crazy takes that I have. Okay, so I filmed this whole video and the audio is just gone from here on out. So I'm gonna try to relay every point that I made the first time, except I said it all on a whim, so I'm just gonna try to remember what I can. And I hope the audio is okay this time. I'm just using my phone microphone, so hopefully it doesn't cut out. Basically what I said the first time is it doesn't make sense to gatekeep small artists because you want them to grow, right? You want them to get money, you want them to go on tour, you want to go see them, you want them to perform shows, you want them to be famous, right? So why would you gatekeep them? Why would you do that? I don't understand the ethics behind that. I'm friends with a lot of small artists and I will hype them up until the end of time. Not because I'm a good friend or anything, but because I genuinely enjoy their music. And I want them to perform. I want them to come to my city. I want them to do shows so that I can support them and see them live. And because they're my friends and I think they're cool. And I like to support people who I think are cool. Is that controversial to say? Maybe so. I don't think it is. Another thing is just that why are you trying to gatekeep big artists? Like, there are people who are genuinely acting like The Weeknd is underground. And I understand thinking that an artist is bigger or smaller than they actually are. I think that a lot of people know who Too Hollis is. Apparently not as many as I thought. And I understand being late to an artist. I understand being extremely early on an artist's career and then thinking that you have this sort of weird superiority complex because you're an early fan, which in and of itself, that is just weird. Not to be rude or anything, but literally, who do you think you are? You are just as much of a fan as anyone who became a fan yesterday or 4 years ago. Which fan superiority complexes I've talked about extensively on this channel, and I will continue to talk extensively about because I just have so much I could say about them because it's never ending, honestly. But there is this weird sort of privilegedness, that's not a real word, but this sense of privilege that a lot of people have when it comes to gatekeeping their favorite artists. They feel like the artist belongs to them, which is so weird. Artists are people too. Oh my god, artists are people too. Crazy concept. I know, it's crazy, it's insane. Some people see artists as an entity less than they see them as a person, or more than they see them as a person. Which I understand to an extent, if an artist has some sort of persona like Chappell Roan or something, which Chappell Roan discourse I don't even want to try to get into. But it's people who gatekeep artists like Chappell Roan, who were like, oh, well, I listened to Midwest Princess in 2023. So did I. I'm not making a big deal out of it. And they think that they're just so much better than newer fans. But at the end of the day, you're still a fan. So why does it matter? And the AC just kicked. But it's that coupled with why I just don't understand why you don't want your favorite artist to be famous. I mean, I get it a little bit because I don't like to see artists in big arenas and big pavilions and venues. It's not really a venue that I personally like to go to. I prefer smaller venues, so those are the artists that I'll see live. Usually when my favorite artists start getting a little bit bigger and start doing more expensive shows, I can't really go to them. It is what it is. Yes, they're missing out on a ticket, but they're not losing out on a fan. And there are some people who are really big fans of Gracie Abrams. I was a fan of Gracie Abrams back in like 2023. Not so much anymore, not because I don't dislike her music, but because I dislike her fan base. And they're so weird about people who weren't fans before The Secret of Us, or people who weren't fans before the Eras Tour. Which, hey, let me put it out there. I saw long hair Gracie. Okay, I knew her before her bob. Do I think that I own Gracie Abrams? No, I do not. Do I honestly have an opinion on Gracie Abrams? Not really. But it's people, again, who try to gatekeep this artist who has like millions of listeners. You are just one of those millions of people. You are honestly not that special, and I don't really know what gives you the right to try to gatekeep them and think that you own the artist. I know. Weird concept. But you actually are just as much of a fan as anyone, which is a point that I have to keep on bringing up because it won't stick in some people's heads. I don't know. I mean, it's that, and then going back to the thing of really small artists, like my friends who make music. I don't know why you wouldn't want them to be famous. I don't know why you wouldn't want to share their music with other people. Me personally, I put everyone and their mom on my friend's music. And I will play it constantly, and I'll put it in all my playlists because I genuinely enjoy their music. Sometimes I enjoy it more than I enjoyed some of my favorite artists because their music is just that good. It lifts my day. What can I say? And why wouldn't you want to share that kind of joy and that kind of excitement that you feel with other people? Whether that be like in-person friends or like literally just online friends I've been on like TikTok and Twitter where I'm like, oh my god, your music is so cool, we need to be friends. And like, yes, I do force artists to be my friends sometimes. That's not the point of this video. It's a hard world out here to make friends. And more than anything, I just want to see other people succeed. And apparently that's like a controversial take to have. I don't know. There's something about this music community where everyone has the kind of mentality to bring other people down or bring themselves up. Not everyone, but some people have that kind of mentality, and I think it's really weird. And honestly, I think that if you gatekeep music, you deserve things that I probably can't say on YouTube. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm recording it for like literally a third time. I hope the audio is okay because I really don't want to record this again. It's already kind of late. Thank you guys for your patience and your time and listening to me rant. I will see you next week. Bye!